What's up, everyone, and welcome to a video where I'm gonna be reacting to my World League games this week. I haven't done this for the first two, but this time is the first time that we actually had a game of me that was not on the mainstream at all. So you might not have seen me play versus Kratsu. And yeah, that's why I decided to also react to these games. Also, it was a quite successful week for me, I would say. First game against Saju, and a little bit of context, Saju was like 10th in the standings at this point or something like that. And he played 7 games and only lost a single one, including like wins against Captain and Moo, and his only loss was 2-1 against Kistrola. So he had a really, really good start to the league. Yeah, so I guess he was probably kind of the favorite, but definitely moving probably more my specialty. So you can already see him guessing immediately. I think he guessed based on seeing a front plate there, which I also had, and now I'm looking around if I see any like state-specific street signs or something like that, but I don't. And I also go Virginia because of the front plate. Ends up being Georgia though, so actually if you just go for the normal hedge there, you pick up a lot of points, but since both of us did not do that, it is totally fine as we move into round number 2. And round number 2 of moving was Botswana. Now, I know my Botswana. I've learned all of it basically. I've learned basically all of the roads, but this one is one of the off-roads where it could be in multiple places, and the road where Saju clicks has like this type of coverage. So I actually decide to move because the moving map usually has info close by. I find the sign, and my region guess was that it was probably more northwest-ish, like this area where I click, and I did find one of the town names. So also for context here, maybe. I guess we can go 5 seconds back with arrow keys. What you see in Game Master mode right here is not what I see on screen. So usually I'm like 1 or 2 zoom levels deeper into the map than what is shown here on the stream. So I could see that one of the town names was exactly at this intersection over here. So I found it last second, clicked over there. Pretty lucky to find that information exactly in time there, but I mean, fair enough. I think my region guess would have been closer anyway. So I take a good chunk of points here in round 2. But his guess made sense, so it was a very like that road where he went also looks basically exactly like that. And yeah, also now we move into this round, and for context here, I would say my movement this week, or like my speed of movement, was finally playable for the first time in the entire league. Before I was always like moving one step every like 3 seconds. I literally couldn't play the moving games against the other people. It was absolutely terrible. I fixed this with the new camera angle that you see here, because we have to separately share our camera, then to separately share our screen, and I did all of that on my PC earlier, but now I'm doing the camera screen sharing on my laptop next to the PC, which basically, I don't know, made it more possible to, for the PC to handle it all, basically. Here I spot the water tower like in the last 10 seconds, and it actually says Grandview, Missouri on there, which is incredibly lucky because usually they just say the town name and they don't actually say the state name, but in this case, I got lucky. Grandview, Missouri, I find that it's over there. So that's huge. I thought this might have already been game. Saju can just go for the region because he did not find any information. Interesting though that he moved the whole round. Like he moved the entire round, which is normally not something that he would do against a player that's moving better than him, but I guess he just didn't have a great region guess either. And now I'm still flawlessing him in round 4, and we got a Brazil. So here you can see he's actually moving a little bit faster looking at different signs. But yeah, definitely Brazil area code simulator, so we both definitely try to move and find an area code here. And this sign that's just looking at has a town name, so something, but no area code. Now I find the same sign in like a second. There we are. No area code. Saju moves past but sees State of Espiritu Santo on the sign. And I don't move past. I moved a little bit slower and actually found the area code here. So I know it's north of Vitoria, so I can make it like a better region guess. And now also it feels like it's, I don't know, not as hilly as you get in the north. So I go somewhere near that town in the middle. And that's exactly where it ends up being. That's not the town name that was on the sign, but I mean, fair enough. I took the win with that, and flawless on moving, which is very, very good for me. Very good for my confidence. But yeah, I mean, it was way easier to play now than in the weeks before in moving. So yeah, then I turned my lights on in between the games. Now we start the no moving game. Maybe for no moving, I'm also gonna turn on the casters. What they say. I think that might be interesting. Yes, I believe you should be able to hear the casters if I turn on this now.
In that first match against Moo. So I would imagine he's not going to go down without a fight here.
So we got a Poland.
If Lennli loses this game, do you think he turns the lights back off for NMPZ? Maybe.
Good question by Bloom there. I would not have. I had like a little soft box on my PC that just ran out of battery during that first game. So I wanted to have some lights on anyway, so I turned on a different light. But yeah, region guessing Poland. You shouldn't do it. You just shouldn't do it. That's the way it is.
The lesson is click middle.
Exactly.
Even if you're Polish.
Exactly what Jake says there.
Pretty much. We go to round 2 here.
It's like Bangladesh. I don't know if there's going to be any written info. I also don't know if the players can read Bengali.
I cannot read Bengali, so that was like complete waste of time for me, to be honest. It was 22 copyright. He actually switched away from the right state there, which is interesting because I don't know how to region guess urban Bangladesh, except for copyright. 22 can be Chittagong, Dhaka, and Mymensingh. But yeah, I don't know. And here is where I make a first mistake, I would say. Because I see the dark blue car, and I know dark blue car 24. It definitely looks like the South Island with these hills. Also, the fence was pretty far spaced apart. And we have like a grainy road that you can see here. So Saju goes for like a landscape guess, I would say. The mountains definitely look like West Coast, kinda. But I go with too much of a meta guess here. I saw the grainy road, which is common in Southland. And also the blue car is pretty common down there. But it also exists like in the northern South Island. So I line up something here that looks kind of good, but unfortunately, I should have just stuck with like the landscape and not committed to like a very risky guess. But there's basically, in between this middle part, there's basically no dark blue car Gen 4, so it's kind of up here or down there, and I kind of thought with the grainy road it made more sense to be Southland. So yeah, a blunder and I lose a lot of health. Now, interesting round. I'm going to turn the commentary back on
Accuracy
here.
is simply because of his playstyle on moving, not usually opting to find signs and stuff and just making sort of random region guesses. And then
What's interesting though is that his average guess time isn't that.
Zoomed in on the possum guard here, which is an olive green Tasmanian possum guard. So I would have thought that he would know it's Tasmania, but
What's up with that?
He actually zooms into Queensland.
Is not in the right place here. I mean, we have a pole to the west with an olive green possum guard. Now he's in Tasmania, but
yeah,
that's a Tasmania. Okay, so Lennli has the 5K.
Exactly. I found the 5K pretty easily. Thumbs up there in the camera. Had a lot of time to scan it. If I guessed quickly here, I guess Saju would have been in Queensland. Would have been pretty crazy, but he actually would have been. So yeah, I don't know. I think he would definitely not miss the olive green possum guard, so I thought I should scan for the 5K there. We had a huge bay, so pretty easy to scan for. But yeah, he was in the wrong area first and then moved to the right one. This is with these dead trees. It's just a very recognizable coverage in Hatgal, Mongolia. So we both guessed the exact same spot. Double wave there. Very nice. No damage done. So we're already in round 6. And this one I could have lost a lot of points, but luckily I decided to go for the right area in the end. I have like a 50-50 here with dry coverage like this, and we have some pine tree plantations. So they could be like north of Eswatini, there's some dry coverage, but in the end the houses look too poor. Like poor houses you mostly find around Lesotho, so I moved a little bit further south. Saju's already in a pretty good area, but yeah, it's even closer to Lesotho. Gettable, I would say, with the houses, but yeah, my guess was kind of a hedge between the places where it could be, and ends up being fine, not a lot of points. He's leading by 1.4k, but there's 3 rounds to go, so definitely something I can make up. But round limit could be bad here, luckily for me at this point. Now we got the US round. We got this black thingy on the pole, which is pretty common in Indiana, but it's also common in the other Midwest states. I guess it's like a possum guard in a way, the black thing. I just thought with the dirt road and the hilliness, it looked way more like Iowa here than Indiana or something like that. The landscape just made more sense for there, so I click middle of Iowa. I get the state, but it's actually not a lot of points at all. Only 364. So I still need a good bit of damage to beat him until the round limit here. And it's only 2 rounds left, so hoping for big countries. Oh, it's 3 rounds left, actually. And yeah, this is, I don't know, it's my blunder, I would say. I looked at the tape. The tape was like untouched, which is pretty common in the southwest of Ghana. And I kind of thought I had seen this road before. Ends up being completely incorrect. So I commit to a road super far west. So yeah, what I can say about this game is the 2 times my 2 bad guesses costed me like, I don't know, cost me 4,500 health in New Zealand and Ghana. And it was just 2 very big commits for stuff I'm not super confident on. So a little bit more hedging, and I could have also gotten this game like pretty much flawlessly as well. But here I could have also lost big points because I just didn't know. We have a solid middle rumble strips with like paired rumble strips, which is very interesting. Paired rumble strips in the East Coast is only in Pennsylvania. So I kind of thought those were Eastern white that I'm looking at right now. Over here, I thought it was like an Eastern white pine, so I thought it had to be somewhat east. And then Pennsylvania is the only state with with like paired rumble strips. But in this case, I completely misidentified the tree, and luckily, Saju is just even further away, and it's another state that can have paired rumble strips, which is Missouri. Way. Very far away, actually. But I don't know, because Saju went for a region guess there, he loses a lot of health, and now he actually has to make up 500 points on round 10. In round 10, I made a really good guess. I think Jake in the commentary said that he would go further north in Sumatra, but if you look at this, like it's a 2-story house made of wood with like the roofs going square at the top. This is a South Sumatra house. These are very, very common in South Sumatra, like a 2-story wooden house. There's another one here on the left where Saju is currently zooming. So there's 2 of those. I also look at the satellite dish for orientation for like confirmation. But with 2 South Sumatra houses, I think I have to go South Sumatra here. And it looks pretty poor in a way, and I don't know exactly where that would be. But we have no tiles. We have no tiles at all, which is why I move from which is why I click in Jambi first, because like usually in South Sumatra we get some tiled roofs. And Saju opts for Pekanbaru probably because of that. But yeah, I decide to move it further south into South Sumatra, hedging it between Jambi and South Sumatra. And it actually ends up being just in South Sumatra there. So I do take the win without round limit, and you get some glasses. Let's go. All right, so that was my first win. And then we have the second game, which was against Kratsoo, and this one was not on stream. So we can watch this with like a little bit of background audio, but no stream. And I haven't watched this back at all. So I'm actually very interested to see what Saju can find, what Kratsoo can find here. He's had like a little bit of a rough start to the league. He's won a lot of games in total. Or a lot of matches, but not a lot of games actually. So he's kind of down in the standings. I have no idea where Ashburton is, but I feel like I've heard of it. I'm like 2 zoom levels further in, but I tried to find it. There was an area code at some point, but I cannot find it. I did not really remember my area codes. I thought it was near Durban, but I wasn't 100% sure. Now Saju just scanned for Ashburton and Carter Ridge here. Makes sense. And my region guess luckily is pretty close as well. Over here near Durban. But that was just a region guess. I didn't find any of the town names, unfortunately. And yep, I could not scan for those for some reason. They thought they were bigger, so I kind of scanned very inefficiently. But yeah, good guess by Kratsoo there. But we'll see. We got a Romania, and I think we did a lot of moving, and I did not find a single thing. I believe Katsu also didn't. Yeah, there was no info nearby in any direction. I just clicked middle, and I believe Katsu did the same here. It's like slightly hilly, but we have tiled roofs, so I thought it made kind of sense to be in the middle. But it's not. It's completely over there, which is interesting. If you're good at Romania, you can probably get that, but I do not have those vibes. Trying to fill up my glass of water there. Very important to have water. I have my mental reset between rounds. And now I also want to see how Katsu scans for this. Okay, so we see a white backplate, so we know it's Ireland. Oh, he finds a better sign over there. Interesting. Can't read it from my side, but I just stay put on those. And I thought like, okay, hopefully I can just scan for those town names. Rathcormac is actually one that I find. Or like Dungarvan. Dungarvan is the one that I find, yeah. The other one I don't. I don't really know how Katsu did this, to be honest. No idea how he managed to 5k that. I don't think he had any info that told him the actual town, but I don't know. He's just an impressive moving player, and I'm not, and I don't understand it. That's just basically the way it is. Next round. Okay. We got a Nigeria here with red car. So I kind of know my red car areas. Katsu goes in instantly to scan. I have to decide for a little bit if I go instantly or not. Also scan Calabar first, I believe, which is where Katsu is scanning right now. Didn't find it. I'm scanning Port Harcourt. Didn't find it. We have two bridges here next to each other, so it should be pretty easily scannable. Now Katsu is looking at Makurdi, which is where I'm also looking and where I find it. But Katsu missed that line up there on the bridge, and he goes somewhere else, basically. Has not found it yet. He's in an area now where there's no red car, but that happens sometimes while scanning. You just happen to be in the wrong area. And I did plonk the right bridge in Makurdi there. Yeah, he could have gotten that as well, but he somehow missed the line up there. And now I take the lead in moving, which is good. But obviously it will be still a hard match to win here. Alright. Next round. I wonder how he did this. I don't understand it. Okay, so we have the A3. We have Strada something. And I don't see anything else. Like, I don't see any other usable information except for A3. Or maybe SARC is like town names. He clicks Cosenza instantly. I have literally no idea what he sees here. Like, I just do not understand what moving is. Like, I have the same information, but I do not see anything usable on the sign. And he just, I don't know. Like, okay, the SS18 is here. That's something. I don't even, like, I didn't even see the A3 on the screen at any point. What is the information? I don't understand it. Please, moving players, tell me what's happening here, because I just cannot figure it out for the life of me. It's so impressive. I do not know what's going on. That's, I don't know. I get like a little bit of a southern vibe, luckily, because I no idea how to scan for that. And still, a completely absurd guess from Katsu, in my opinion. I don't know how it's possible, but that's just how moving players go sometimes. Now we move into the next round, which is Russia. Unluckily, it's long antenna, and I don't know anything about long antenna Russia. I'm really bad at that. But my region guess at the beginning with this flatness would be like Altai Krai, Omsk, something like that. Like east of Urals, definitely, but not super east. So I could have insta-sent that and put pressure on him, but I decided, because I know Russian phone codes, to move a bit. But Katsu is already in Abakan without seeing a single bit of information, which is absurd, because I don't know why. I don't know why he would be there. It's super flat. It doesn't really look like Abakan to me at all. And also long antenna is kind of rare in Abakan, I would say. Yeah, I don't think he has seen any information. Now he sees this sign, which I also get to at the same time. But I don't think those town names are super findable. Yeah, I tried to find an area code. I don't. Yeah, I think it was just a region guess from him, to be honest. Again, please let me know. Let me know if there's anything that I missed there. But how did he do that? I don't know. I do not understand how he got Abakan there. I thought I don't think it looked like Abakan in the slightest, and I don't think he found any information there that was usable to him. So impressive guess. He takes the moving game very deservedly, I would say, and we move into NM. All right. First round. Oh yeah, I remember this round. I mean, we have Black Card Gen 4 with a pretty narrow road. Looks like Indo, right? But the thing is, I had like this hunch that it could be like the eastern part of Bangladesh, maybe? And I was just thinking about that the entire round because I thought the vegetation kind of looked Bangladesh for some reason. Katsu is in Bali first, then moves to East Java. Okay, I'm still not sure if I should ever commit Bangladesh here, maybe. So at this point, 9 seconds left, I actually switch to Bangladesh and then I decide it's actually way too risky. He's just gonna go Indo. I have to go Indo as well. I switch back. Which is good because it was Indo. I don't think I'm going Southeast Sula on that, but yeah, he does 500 damage to me. Currently looking good for him. Next round, got a Bolivia, Villa Tunari, which is a town name. Kratsoo knows. So he clicks in Villa Tunari, but obviously I know my Bolivia as well. And I have additional time to 5k this, but I do not 5k. 497 from both of us. Pretty quick. Good stuff. Totally fine. Okay, next round we have a UK with stone walls and ferns. And this rolling landscape with a ridge. So I always, when I see this kind of landscape with stone walls, I always consider like Peak District or like the North Moors or stuff like that. Like all of the national parks in northern England. A Lake District as well, or Yorkshire Dales. Like all of those national parks in northern England look like this to me. Scotland, not so much where Kratsoo goes. It can look like that as well, but I was pretty confident that it was northern England. I just didn't know which of the national parks it was, and it ended up being like North Pennines, I believe. So yeah, good damage for me, but nothing spectacular. Australia next. I believe I just made a region guess here. Oh yeah, actually, this pole right here looks like it could be a Victoria pole with the coils extended on the side. Like on my screen, it looked more like it than on the small thing here, but that was kind of why I thought it could be Victoria maybe. It's actually water hedging right now. But yeah, actually I also spot like some coastal Victorian trees over there. At least those are very common around there. And there's also like a wind turbine, I think, which makes sense for southwest Vic. So I go southwest here. And that ends up being correct. So that's pretty good damage here. 2.5x, that's 1.2k damage. Next round, we just got a Peru, I believe. Yeah, we have a Peruvian signpost and everything. Don't remember where I end up going here. It looks pretty southern. Kratsoo locks in like the southernmost road. Kind of a commit here. But I thought this was the volcano maybe near Arequipa. So I actually last second switch like on Arequipa. But obviously the volcano looks very different. So that was a pretty, pretty bad guess. It was actually way further west. So potential for big points lost there. Still 1.6k. Pretty nice. Katsu not super happy with that guess. Now we move into the next round, which was... Oh yeah, okay. Interesting round here. I mean, I instantly thought Mexico, and we had like super pale, washed out pavement, which is very common in like Yucatan Peninsula, like Campeche and stuff like that. Katsu instantly zooms in there. But we also have like sabal palms, so the ones that you see like in Sierra, for example, or I don't know, in Cambodia. And those are not very common on the Yucatan Peninsula at all. So my guess is not great. But like I thought the road and the rest of the vegetation looks so much like Yucatan that I have to go there. But these palms are actually way more common like in western Veracruz. So, or like coastal Veracruz, basically. And Kratsoo is in Tabasco, but now with like 5 seconds left, he's like, wait, is it actually just Ceará palms? And he considers switching here to Brazil, and last second he switches. Unfortunately, it was like coastal Tamaulipas even, so very far north. And yeah, this last second switch, he was way closer than me. He was in Tabasco, so super unlucky for Kratsoo there. It was like kind of the exactly wrong timing, and he's like, that's so unfortunate. Yeah, I totally get it. Okay, so we go to NMPZ. Currently, I'm feeling pretty good because I've won every single NMPZ match so far that I've had in the league. And yeah, Western Turkey here with the stones and olive trees. At least we thought so. It was not Western at all. It was actually Mersin. I don't know. Maybe Gelotris can tell us what we missed there, but I go West on that. That's all I can say. I think I recognize this type of coverage here in this round for like Northwest Ireland. I kind of tried to line up the mountain range here in like the northwestern part of this, but then I decided to like hedge it a little bit more over there. And I also thought there were mountains down there, so I don't know. I go down there, and it ends up being like exactly where my first plonk was, I think. So I would have like 5K'd with my first region guess. Unfortunate. It's minimal points. Okay, got some India. Karnataka pole here, because we have a trident shape. At least like it's most common in Karnataka, not always. And it looked super dry for Karnataka standards. We didn't have any palm trees, so I kind of thought it wouldn't be southern Karnataka, which is why I decided to actually commit a little bit more to the north here. Kind of a risky guess, but in this case it paid off because it was northeast. But usually around the south of Karnataka you see some palm trees, and in this round we didn't have any. It looked way drier, so I went more inland. Paid off, 1200 damage. Okay, insignificant Senegal round here. Just looks like that coverage north of the main road. And we get another Indo. So this is actually significant because it's kind of hard. Kind of tricky. I thought probably Sulawesi, but then the fence kind of made me reconsider. I even thought about Maluku because some of the houses looked Maluku to me. It's kind of too flat though for Maluku, so I discarded that idea. We have some palm trees as well, so Sula made sense. I opt for a swim because I don't really know where it gets this flat in northern Sulawesi. And also it could have been a different island entirely. I wasn't sure at all. Funnily enough, Katsu and I go for the same swim, which I thought was pretty hilarious, to be honest. And it ends up being northern central Sula. Alright. What was the next round? This was a tricky one. Okay, so we have a house here, which is like made of mud bricks almost, but then the roof looks kind of weird. And we have the stone wall. I feel like I've seen stone walls like this in Peru and Chile, and also like the narrow road lines made a lot of sense for Peru or Chile, and then the vegetation probably more Peruvian. Katsu is in Peru at first, so he also thought probably Peru here. But I was considering like all over the place. I was considering Southeast Asia, like Philippines or something like that, but road didn't make sense. I didn't think of Sri Lanka, which is where Katsu went, but Sri Lanka actually makes a lot of sense with this type of road as well. So I feel like it's a really good guess. Could have easily been Sri Lanka, but I wasn't sure. I stick it in Peru, and now I decide I will commit to it and I will go for the region guess. Looked most like Tarapoto area to me. So Katsu still considering between Sri Lanka and Peru. Does he switch? He does not, and it ends up being Peru. So super unlucky for Katsu for the second time. But the thing is, I think where he was in Peru, like just middle, would have lost him the game almost as well, because I was basically on it. It was just like west of the mountains of Tarapoto. So my Peru region guess actually was really, really good there. Yeah, get another sunglasses. But since that game was not on stream, those sunglasses might come out again. I don't have unlimited sunglasses, unfortunately. So you'll have to see about that. But GG's to Katsu and Saju. Both of them played really well. Katsu got like kind of unlucky, to be honest. And yeah, see you in the World League games next week.